A world without steam. What if the Industrial Revolution never happened? Imagine a world where the rhythmic chug of steam engines never echoed across the land, where factories didn't darken the skies, and where life moved at the pace of a horse-drawn carriage. A world without the Industrial Revolution. Was this pivotal moment in history inevitable or a mere accident of circumstance? The Industrial Revolution, a period of unprecedented technological and societal transformation, fundamentally reshaped the world. It was characterized by the mechanization of production, the rise of factories, and a massive shift in population from rural areas to urban centers. But was it destined to happen? While technological advancements were certainly occurring, the specific confluence of factors that ignited the Industrial Revolution in 18th century Britain was arguably unique. Britain possessed abundant coal reserves, access to colonial resources, and a relatively supportive political and economic climate. Without these crucial elements, the revolution might have been significantly delayed or taken a drastically different form. In the immediate aftermath of a non-existent industrial revolution, life would have remained predominantly agrarian. The vast majority of the population would have lived in rural areas, engaged in farming and other agricultural pursuits. The pace of life would have been considerably slower, dictated by the seasons and the rhythms of nature. Population growth would have been significantly slower due to limitations in food production and medical advancements. Without the innovations spurred by industrialization, agricultural yields would have remained relatively stagnant, and diseases would have continued to take a heavy toll. Urbanization would have been limited, with smaller cities and less migration from rural areas. Social structures would likely have remained more rigid, with land ownership dictating power and influence. Social mobility would have been significantly restricted, making it difficult for individuals to rise above their station. Localized economies would have thrived, relying on skilled craftsmanship, animal power, and regional trade networks. Over the long term, the absence of the Industrial Revolution would have resulted in a significantly lower global population. Limited resources and healthcare would have kept population growth in check, preventing the exponential increase seen in the industrialized world. Technological innovation would have proceeded at a much slower pace, characterized by incremental progress rather than exponential growth. Global trade would have been far less interconnected, with limited exchange of goods and ideas between regions. The rise of global empires as we know them would have been unlikely, as the technological and economic advantages that fueled their expansion would have been absent. Alternative energy sources such as wind and water power would have been more widely utilized, but at a smaller and less efficient scale. Today, a world without the Industrial Revolution would likely be characterized by a greater emphasis on sustainable practices. With limited access to fossil fuels and other resources, societies would have been forced to develop more environmentally friendly ways of life. However, living standards would generally be lower with less access to goods and services. Communication would be slower and more localized, lacking the instantaneous connectivity we take for granted. Medical advancements would have been significantly delayed, resulting in lower life expectancies and higher infant mortality rates. The world would likely be more fragmented, with regional powers dominating and no single global superpower. Resource scarcity would still be a major challenge, potentially exacerbated by the lack of technological solutions. Disease would remain a constant threat due to slower medical progress and limited access to healthcare. Social inequality would persist, potentially manifesting in different forms based on land ownership and access to resources. However, humanity would undoubtedly adapt and innovate in different ways, leading to unique technologies and social structures. Perhaps we would have mastered sustainable agriculture on a global scale, or developed advanced forms of renewable energy. The possibilities are endless, but the challenges would be significant. The absence of the Industrial Revolution would fundamentally reshape our world, creating a society vastly different from the one we know. It's important to remember that this alternative world wouldn't necessarily be a utopian paradise. Many of the challenges we face today, such as resource scarcity and social inequality, would likely still exist. The Industrial Revolution, for all its flaws, has had a transformative impact on humanity. It has shaped our societies, our economies, and our very way of life. Understanding its significance allows us to better appreciate the world we live in and to consider the potential consequences of alternative historical paths. If you enjoyed this thought experiment and found it thought-provoking, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more alternative history scenarios. We love exploring these what-if questions and diving deep into the fascinating possibilities of the past. What other historical turning points would you like us to explore? Let us know your suggestions in the comments below. We're always looking for new and exciting topics to delve into. Thanks for watching.